For 111 days, the world held its breath. The United States and Iran were at war, trading missile strikes and naval blockades until the Strait of Hormuz, the most important stretch of water on Earth, became a graveyard of stranded tankers. The oil the entire planet runs on stopped moving. And then, almost overnight, peace. On June 15, 2026, the two enemies sat down and agreed to stop. A ceasefire. The strait reopens. So here's the question nobody in the headlines is asking. After decades of calling each other enemies, why now? It's not the bomb. And believe it or not, it's not even the oil. It's something hidden inside the oil. A single question that has quietly decided who runs the world economy for 50 years. Not who pumps the barrel, but whose money the barrel is sold in. Because while America spent years trying to strangle Iran with sanctions, Iran did something nobody planned for. It started selling its oil in a different currency. And that, not the warhead, is the real reason Washington suddenly wants peace. To understand how dangerous that is, you have to go back to a coup almost nobody talks about. To understand why the dollar's grip on the world could be slipping in 2026, and why that should scare anyone with a bank account, you have to go back to where this entire game began, 1951. Iran was a country drowning in oil it wasn't allowed to drink. A British company, the one you know today as BP, pumped it, sold it, and kept the profits, paying Iran scraps. So one man stood up and did the unthinkable. His name was Mohammad Mossadegh, and he led a vote to take Iran's oil back. Overnight, he was a national hero, Times Man of the Year. Britain's answer wasn't a negotiation. It was a chokehold, a worldwide boycott to starve Iran's oil sales. And when that wasn't enough, London turned to Washington. In 1953, the CIA and British intelligence ran an operation with a name as bland as a weather report, Operation Ajax. The mission? Erase a democratically elected leader because he dared to control his own country's oil. It worked. Iran's democracy died in the street, and the throne went back to the Shah, America's man for the next 25 years. And here's the part they never put in the headlines. The very next year, 5 American oil companies were handed a slice of Iran's oil for the first time in history. The country that toppled a government walked away holding the prize. America had learned the oldest rule of power: control a nation's oil, and you control the nation. But in the decade that followed, Washington would discover a weapon far more powerful than any single barrel. In 1973, an embargo sent oil prices into the stratosphere. Gas lines snaked around city blocks in America, and the most powerful economy on Earth choked, brought to its knees by a resource buried under someone else's sand. But out of that crisis, Washington engineered something quiet and genius. A bargain took hold across the oil world. Crude would be bought and sold in one currency, and one only: the US dollar. Stop and feel what that means. Every country on Earth needs oil. So if oil can only be bought in dollars, then every country on Earth needs dollars, has to hold them, has to chase them, has to keep America's money valuable just to keep its own lights on. That's the real engine room of American power. Not the army, not even the oil itself. The fact that the whole world has to settle the planet's most important commodity in your currency. Economists have a name for it: the petrodollar. And for 50 years, it has been the invisible foundation under everything. The reason America can borrow almost endlessly, and the rest of us can't. So what happens to a country that tries to sell its oil in anything else? Just ask Iran. 1979, revolution. The Shah's plane lifts off and never returns. Crowds storm the US embassy. And overnight, Iran flips from America's most valuable partner in the region to its most dangerous enemy. But Washington didn't reach for a coup this time. It reached for the new weapon: sanctions. And understand what sanctions on oil really are. They're not a wall around Iran's wells. They're a wall around the dollar. America told the world, trade with Iran's oil, touch its banks, insure its tankers, and you lose access to the dollar system, to the plumbing of global money itself. For 40 years, that threat held. Iran's oil was frozen out, barrel by barrel, because no one dared cross the currency that runs the world. It was the perfect weapon. Silent, bloodless, devastating. Right up until the moment Iran found a way around it, and in doing so, handed America its worst nightmare. For decades, the logic was simple. Cut Iran off from the dollar, and its oil dies in the ground. But in the last few years, something the architects never imagined happened. Iran stopped asking for the dollar's permission. It built a shadow fleet, hundreds of aging tankers that switch off their transponders, relabel Iranian crude as Malaysian, and slip it quietly to China. And China didn't pay in dollars. It paid in yuan. By the time the 2026 war broke out, China was buying somewhere between 80 and 90% of Iran's exported oil, much of it settled completely outside the dollar system. Think about what that proved. The petrodollar, the invisible foundation of American power, could be bypassed. The world's swing barrel could flow on a different currency's rails, and the sky didn't fall. Iran wasn't just an enemy anymore. It had become the proof of concept for a world after the dollar. And it wasn't alone. Russia and China now trade almost entirely in their own currencies, and a new web of payment systems is rising specifically to route around American money. America's perfect weapon had done the one thing a weapon should never do. It taught the enemy how to live without it. So now you can read the 2026 war for what it really was. Not just a fight over a bomb, a fight over a country that had slipped the leash and proven the leash could be slipped. When the war came and Iran shut the Strait of Hormuz, the pain didn't stay in the Middle East. Nearly a fifth of the world's oil moves through that channel. Fuel, fertilizer, bread. The price of everything began to climb, and the word stagflation came back for the first time since the 70s. A polite, professorial way of saying your paycheck stays flat while the price of everything on your kitchen table keeps climbing. Both sides were staring into the abyss. And then, the deal. But look at what the United States put on the table first, before a single nuclear question was settled. Oil waivers. The Treasury would immediately let Iranian crude flow again, through legitimate banks, legitimate insurance, legitimate shipping. Read that slowly. The very first move wasn't to disarm Iran. It was to pull Iran's oil off the shadow fleet, off the yuan, and back onto the dollar-cleared rails, where Washington can see it, price it, and shut it off at will. Before the war, Iran sold around 1.5 million barrels a day. With this deal, it could surge toward 2 million, all of it, once again, settled in dollars. That is the real prize, not the oil. The currency the oil is sold in. Here's why this is bigger than Iran. Every barrel that comes back onto the dollar's rails is a barrel that didn't defect to the yuan. This deal isn't really America making peace with an enemy. It's America trying to plug a leak in the foundation of its own power, before that leak becomes a flood. And that's why peace makes some of the most powerful players on Earth nervous. Russia, China, every nation trying to build a world that doesn't run on the dollar. Just watch the petro-yuan's biggest success story get quietly pulled back into Washington's orbit. But here's the part that reaches your life. The dollar's grip on oil is the reason America can borrow trillions cheaply, and that cheap money flows into your mortgage rate, your savings, the price on the shelf. The day the world no longer needs dollars to buy energy is the day that foundation cracks, and everyone standing on it feels the floor move. This deal, signed in a quiet Swiss resort, is one move in that war. A war most people don't even know is being fought. So, why now? Why, after 111 days of war, does America suddenly crave peace? Because the war revealed the real threat. It was never just Iran's hand on the valve. It was the discovery that the valve could be turned in someone else's currency. For 73 years, this was never really about ideology or even the bomb. It was about who controls the world's oil and the money that buys it. In 1953, America used a coup to grab the barrel. In 2026, it needs a handshake to grab it back. This time, not from an empire, but from the yuan. So watch what happens next. Because this is a 60-day framework, not a final piece. And the real question was never whether the guns stay quiet. It's whether the dollar can pull the world's oil back onto its rails, or whether Iran already showed everyone the way out. History gave us the answer once. This time, the world is taking notes. So I'll leave you with this. Is the dollar's reign finally over? Or did America just pull off the greatest financial trap in history? Tell me in the comments, are you betting on the dollar or the yuan?